So here's 5 running backs I'm benching heading into week 11. The first guy's Kareem Hunt of the Cleveland Browns. Hunt, he had a great game last week. We saw in week 10 for Hunt. But this week, I just don't see him getting the job done. This week is Hunt versus the Philadelphia Eagles. They give up the 4th least fantasy points to running backs. And this week, Hunt, he's not going to get the workload I think he got last week. Last week, the weather was crazy. It was a run-first ball game. And this game, they could be down early where Hunt, they're not going to use him much. He had 104 yards on 19 carries. I don't see him getting 19 to 22 touches again in this game. Is Hunt versus Philly. Chubb, he's back. He looked good. And this week, like I said, I don't see Hunt getting the job done. So bench him if you have better options. The next guy to bench at running back is J.K. Dobbins of the Baltimore Ravens. It's unfortunate Mark Ingram came back and they keep giving him and Gus Edwards the carries. This kid, J.K. Dobbins, he should be the man over there in Baltimore. We saw him have a few good games this year filling in for Ingram, but now he's the third man on the depth chart. It looks like once again is Dobbins. But this team, they should start him. We saw the Lions start DeAndre Swift and they weren't disappointed. I think Dobbins, he deserves to get the starts. They're struggling now is Baltimore. They've lost 3 out of their last 4 games, so they got to get it going. Dobbins, he's got to get more carries. He only got 6 targets, 6 looks the whole game in Week 10 in New England. This week would have been a great matchup versus Tennessee if he was going to start, but it's not going to be the case. So J.K. Dobbins, unfortunately, you got to bench him and keep him on the bench. This is a guy I'm not going to drop. And he's still owned in 71% of rosters. So hopefully Dobbin owners, they hold on to him. If not, I'm going to try to go out there and get him. Because I think he's going to start sooner than later. The third running back I'm benching this week is Darrell Henderson of the Los Angeles Rams. Henderson, he started to lose carries already. We saw it last week, which I speculated it might happen after the bye. And he did. Cam Akers, he led the backfield with 9 carries in that ball game. And now in this one, Henderson, he only had 7 carries for 28 yards, and the touchdown saved his week. He's a touchdown-dependent running back, and this week I'm not going to depend on him, and he's a guy I'm going to send to the bench is Henderson. There's better options on your team. He's got a tough matchup versus Tampa Bay, where you know this game's going to be a shootout between the two teams, and once that happens, you know they're not going to use Henderson in the backfield as a receiver. So, yeah, this week I'm not starting Henderson. And staying in this very game, Leonard Fournette, he's the 4th running back. I'm going to not start this week. Fournette, it looks like he lost his only opportunity to get in the starting job in the backfield after Ronald Jones took off for 198 yards total and a touchdown. And Fournette, he'll still have his third down opportunities and stuff. But Ronald Jones, he's going to be the guy in between the tackles. We saw him have 23 carries in the last game. And I think Arians, he's going to ride with Jones now. Fournette, he had a couple chances when Jones had the fumble issues and stuff. But, yeah, Fournette, I can't trust him. I got to put him on the bench. The most he's doing is 10, 11 points in PPR games. And Tampa, they're going to be in most of the games where Fournette, he's not going to be on the field as much. So Leonard Fournette, I'm going to bench him this week. And the 5th and final guy, I'm benching at running back this week's Jonathan Taylor. How could you have any confidence in him in the backfield? Jonathan Taylor, he's not getting the job done. He's had fumble issues. Teams are stopping him. His workload went down. It's a 3-headed timeshare over there in Indianapolis with Jordan Wilkins and Nyheim Hines over there. Hines is the back I want if I'm going to have to play any over there in Indianapolis, because he's got a set role at least with the passing and third down receiving reps. But besides that, Jonathan Taylor, he's been a train wreck. He's been a bust. And he's a guy you just got to put on the bench. And this week, I'm putting him on the bench versus Green Bay. This is probably going to be a shootout or a high-scoring game where the game script is going to tell you that Nyheim Hines is going to get the carries and the catches. So that's 5 running backs I'm benching heading into Week 11.